Greetings to Marcus Monroe, our guest today, everybody. Make some noise for the lovely Marcus. Yes, yes. Oh. 2 people out of 4 clapped, I guess.
I clapped too.
You clapped? I clapped.
Yeah, I think we're 5 for 5.
Okay, oh, you keep believing that. My guest today is Marcus Monroe. He's he's a friend. He is, and I get this right, the rock star of jugglers.
Well,
I knew you didn't want me to say that.
I don't call myself that. That was a quote given to me
by
the New York Press.
The New York Press.
And there is another guy who calls himself rock star juggler, and I don't want to take away his glory.
So, what should we call you?
You can just call me Marcus Monroe and just leave it as that. I'm a juggler.
And why are you here today?
Because I'm a juggler. That's funny.
Right? We're not going to laugh at it. We're going to laugh with it.
Right. Yeah. You can laugh at it. Either way,
Marcus and I, we met, we were working together in Los Angeles, actually, out in L.A. at a comedy club. And one of the
country.
The Hermosa Beach Comedy and Magic Club, a fabulous club in Hermosa Beach, California. And I was so excited because I was, at that club, especially it's a comedy and magic club, so you actually do get to see, magic acts, stuff like that. And it was exciting for me. Like you came in all of a sudden, boom, things are flying in the air. I go, here we go, we're juggling.
Yeah, we were off. Yeah, you start real quick. We're off to the races, but it was fun. It was a good time. We hung out a little bit, not too much.
You were with your wife?
Yeah, I was with my wife, and we had a good time. You're hilarious. You headlined, I believe, that week.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was great.
So we had a great old time, and we kept in touch. And it was fun for me to watch. You don't see juggling often.
You don't. There's like 13 of us doing it, but I like seeing it.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
There's 13 jugglers in the world?
So it seems there's not a lot.
Not a lot of young ones, too. I Googled juggling leading up to this, and
really?
it was, there's not a lot of young acts.
Oh, right. I think there are a lot of young jugglers who are really good, and I love seeing more and more younger people starting to juggle, guys and girls.
Yeah.
Especially some of the girls are really fun to watch. There's this girl named Delaney. She is incredible. I want to say she's probably like 20 years old, and she could kick my ass in a juggling battle if they do that any day. She's great.
So talk to us about how you started. Did your parents?
Yeah, so I started from a book I got at the library, the Klutz book of juggling.
Right.
I read it and I was really into it because I was into magic before.
Right.
So I was already like suckered into like the variety world through magic. And then I figured it was only adults who could juggle.
Okay.
So I learned how to juggle from the book, and I was really impressed that someone 9 years old can learn how to juggle.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I sold all my magic stuff to my friend Ben, and then I became a professional juggler pretty soon after I learned how. I was juggling professionally when I was like 12 or 13, making pretty good money. I would make like $25 an hour juggling in like parades around Milwaukee. And it was like,
who was paying you?
The parade, I guess. I don't know.
$25.
Maybe it was my parents.
That is more than you're getting paid to be here tonight.
Yeah, it is by $25. But it was fantastic because that was like the only job I had really like growing up. I got a job at like retail stores, but that was just like for fun, just like just to play around and to meet people. But juggling.
How did your parents feel about you juggling?
They absolutely loved it.
Really?
They really did because
Were they in the business?
My parents are not in the business. My dad was the principal of the high school I went to. My mom was a nurse. Not at all circusy, variety, comedy people.
Right.
But the most supportive parents you could ask for.
Wonderful. So born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So I would, so they loved it. My whole family would come to my shows. I do like a show at the library. And to me, it was like the biggest show of the summer because the community would come out and watch my show. I'd have, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents come, they watch me do like
Did you have an outfit?
Yeah, my mom made me an outfit.
Your mom made you an outfit to juggle it?
Shout out to Kathy Monroe.
Woo!
It was a wait, Simo. What's Simo?
Is it K, Kathy, or C, Kathy?
It's a K.
I don't know.
K-Mo.
K-Mo.
It was a purple sequin vest. I would wear that. because my favorite juggler at the time, his name was T.R. Loon, and still one of my top favorite jugglers.
Okay, well, there's
of all
only
time.
13 of them.
There's only 13. No, there's a lot more. But yeah, there's not a lot. Well, a lot more magicians, but he would wear all purple.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that's what I need to do to be successful. So
Right.
I wore a purple sequin vest, and I would wear just like a normal white T-shirt, maybe some shorts or
Now,
really
funny
baggy
enough,
pants.
that does feed into the connotation of juggling. I know there's a connotation to it, right?
What do you mean?
It's you
What
know.
are you talking about?
Well,
What do you mean?
I have no idea what I'm saying.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's like, oh, it's a little bit old school. It's a
What?
little bit hokey. It's a
What?
little bit.
What?
It's perhaps not the most.
Take it back.
All right, so this has been a good episode of Critics of Summer.
Yeah. No, it's completely terrible.
And- No, but
if I could change careers now, I would. My uncle does pretty good selling stuff on eBay. So,
But the sequence vest cannot be helping the reputation. I mean, that's the
Well-
kind of stuff when we think about juggling, we think like, oh, you know, circus
Yeah.
clown.
Great.
Right.
I mean, I can't change that, but I try.
But how
I
has
don't-
that, how have you,
Yeah, so-
because it's come up in your career, right?
Yeah, of course. It's funny because juggling's been the thing that has gotten me this far, but it's also the same thing that's held me back.
Ah. In what way?
Well, you know, I'll be meeting with people. I've met with like every manager you can think of.
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, we love your personality. We love your jokes. You're really funny. You're unique. But the juggling. I'm like, no.
They don't want you to juggle?
No, they don't. But they're like, can you do it without the juggling? I'm like, yeah, can you play football without a football? Like, I'm like, come on, what do you want me to do?
And that's funny because I've seen your act, and you're a very funny person without the juggling. You're
Thank
very
you.
funny and entertaining.
It's my crutch.
But I would say it's part of your presentation. You make it such a fun part.
And I don't even juggle that much. I do this thing sometimes when I go to stand-up shows or comedy clubs. I'll just talk. And I'll talk as much as I can.
Right.
And then when I start to lose myself, which happens sometimes very quickly,
Right.
then I'll go to my props and I'll do a trick or something.
Okay.
But it's fun for me to see how long I can go without actually having to juggle. So I'll try to do some jokes. I'll try to do some jokes or like
Right.
some stand-up that I've been working on, as you know, or I'll try to do crowd work and see how long that takes me until I'm like, okay, well, here's some.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game.
Well,
to
it's
play.
a one- but
it's like a game of chicken with myself.
And that's a great thing. It reminds me a little bit of a piano act. Sometimes we'll say that a comedian who gets up with a piano, you say, okay, you kind of can talk, and then if there's silence or something doesn't work, you can just sort of chime in with a little piano.
I'm like Rich Chrome. That's right.
No, but I mean, I loved. One of the things that made me laugh the most the first time I ever saw you was your saves. Like you don't know. It doesn't always work. You're not always.
Right.
You don't always catch the thing, and you don't always.
I'm not good.
So bad juggling is
Yeah.
But I mean,
No,
to me, that was one of the most watchable, likable parts. Is when something didn't go right, you had something to say about it.
Listen, no one wants to watch the juggler that catches everything.
That's so predictable.
Yeah. If you're watching someone you know they can't make a mistake, what's the point of watching? You don't watch NASCAR to see them not get into a car wreck.
Right, well.
I give the people what they want, right? And they want to see the juggler who's crazy, who might have had one or two shots before the show. No, I'm kidding about that. But I try to be as authentic and self-aware as possible.
You were in the moment.
In the moment, exactly. And if I drop, there's some times where I'll pick it up and just keep going like nothing has happened.
Right.
But there are other times where I will form a circle around my prop, light candles, have a seance, just do whatever, shoot it, whatever I need to do. You need, mistakes happen.
But to me, that was entertaining.
A lot of people think they go, sometimes I'll do a show on a cruise ship or in a theater and I'll juggle to like my music and I'll drop and the audience will go, oh.
Right, you failed.
And I'm like, why are you owing me? I make a living juggling. Why are you owing me? Oh, yeah, it happens. That's how gravity works. Don't owe that. It's a beanbag. It's going to be okay. What are you talking about? It's fine.
This is starting to get personal. This is you're starting to have a moment here. I think.
No, I'm just saying, people are like, I understand. They want to see the juggler do well, and maybe it gets awkward sometimes when someone drops. But like, I'm not competing for the world championships.
Well, I think that's a good attitude. You shoot for the middle. I think
listen, I'm usually the best juggler in the room, so no one else can. Usually, right? And if I'm not the best juggler in the room, they booked the wrong act. But I have fun. We have fun.
We do have fun. For our viewers, coming up at the end of this episode, we are going to juggle. You're going to teach me how to juggle. Yeah. I'm very excited and nervous about that because it's something I've always admired and
If you book yourself at the Comedy Magic Club as Michael Somerville, the juggling comic, I'm going to be so mad.
You're going to be very angry. I'm going to steal your thunder. Yeah. I don't think we're in any danger of that. If they want bad juggling, I can do that right now.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think. But how do you react then? So, like we said, there's this industry saying, "Drop the juggling," this and that. What do you say to people that say, "Stop juggling, but still be funny"?
I'll say like, "Okay, I can only do 4 minutes." Like, how's that for you? I've done actual comedy sets without any juggling before. I've sent you video of it.
I have seen you, and you're very, very funny.
It can be done. I don't prefer it.
Yes.
But it can be done if I'm in a pinch.
Okay.
So, if my props don't make it,
Do you have that instinct in life? Like if something's not going well on a date or something, do you just want to reach for the juggler?
I've never done that, thankfully. I don't think anyone wants to date the guy who juggles all the time.
No.
But I think that is what people think my life is like at home, like with me and my wife. I think they think I'm like juggling dishes in the kitchen. I'm like, no, what? Have you seen my show? They would fall. They would just crash.
But I have seen video of you in your backyard in New York City, surrounded by buildings, juggling fire.
Yeah, I do that. I don't care.
How do the neighbors? Clearly not.
I just moved into a new apartment. We got this apartment because it does have a little private backyard. I'm making the money. And we have a good time. So I was doing a photo shoot, and I was like, hey, let's take some. It was all about content, so let's record this for the gram. So let's shoot some fire juggling. My neighbors haven't met me. I haven't met any of them.
You haven't met your neighbors. They just see you out there juggling fire.
Yeah, one time I did juggle fire out there last week, and it was fun. It got really hot. We got some good photos.
Okay.
You can follow me on Instagram at Marcus Juggles to see said photos. But it's really
subtle promotion.
Well, when you're a juggler, no one's doing it for you. No one's like, hey, you guys know who you should follow? Marcus Monroe, the juggler. It's like, what? Why? We could follow anybody else, but it's free, and it helps me out.
Do you have a lot of followers?
No. I have like 6,000 on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
It's not terrible, but they're good people. They're good. They're nice.
Solid.
Oh yeah.
Salt of the earth.
Oh, they're salt of the earth. They're good. They're solid folks.
Are they family members or are they
have a big family. No, they're when people who see me on ships and shows and clubs and theaters.
And okay. Do they are they comedy fans? Are they magic fans? Are they juggling fans? Do you when people say, "Oh, I love Marcus Monroe"? Mm-hmm. Do they mean? And I consider myself a fan, an absolute fan of your performance. You are funny and entertaining, and keep it. You keep the ball in the air. See what I did? See what I did?
I did.
Okay. But I mean,
I think I think most of them have seen me perform in some capacity, and they were just fans of the show. I don't think they were just fans of juggling or of comedy, but of the whole package. I like to think.
It was
and if they like I'm obsessed with NSYNC and boy bands, so if they
I noticed your shirt, by the way.
Maybe they're fans of that. I don't know.
Why is that? How does that? Why are you wearing an NSYNC shirt right now?
Oh, this is what I chose to. I know you don't believe me, but I actually took off the clothes I was wearing to get dressed up for this. And this is what I chose. I do also have Tupac on my shoes. Oh, you can't.
Do you?
Yeah, it's Tupac. I know you can't see it, but his face is there.
Our crack camera staff out there.
You see?
You sure do, don't you?
That's Tupac Shakur. He's a rapper. Because I own the domain TupacIsStillAlive.com.
You own the domain?
Yeah, it just goes to it forwards to my website.
Are you kidding? Is that how you got 6,000 followers on Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you just tricking people into being your fan?
Well, after my show sometimes, I would say, thank you guys so much, TupacIsStillAlive.com. And I would say that before I even had the domain. And I was like, oh, you know what would be even funnier is if I took an Ambien and woke up the next day and actually bought the domain. So that's what I did. So like 12 years ago, I bought that.
Well, congrats.
I don't remember doing it, but
congrats.
It's on auto, pay.
Renew?
So auto renew, which is the best way to go.
And that actually, I'm not even sure I want to talk about that.
Well, what? I think now you have to.
I have so many questions. Is that does anyone ever get in touch with you and say why, like, well, you're a juggler? Why are you?
Yeah, some people have asked me why I have that, and I was like, I usually be like, he was a great juggler. And then people really just have to do a deep dive.
Speaking of weird words, the Norch, the K-N-O-R-C-H. You invented the Norch.
Yeah, so I took a torch and a knife and I taped them together.
And it's called the Norch.
And it's gotten me so much work. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. But I opened for the band Cake.
Okay. With a C.
With a C,
okay.
and there's also a K in there. And I performed riding a 12-foot tall unicycle with a firework exploding on my head, juggling 3 Norches. I ended up, the crowd was going, 4,000 people in this theater. Crowd was going crazy. I jumped off the unicycle, landed on the hardest part of the stage, broke both my feet at the same time.
Are you kidding?
Then I got up.
True?
It's on YouTube. And then I got up, started dancing around. Then was like, oh no.
That's when you discovered your feet were broken?
Yeah. I was like, holy cow. My feet are broke. So.
Jack, our owner and CEO, is going for a second beer, so we know that we got off the rails early tonight.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Not at all.
I'm so sorry.
So the Norch, is that? Can you patent that? Is that something that you?
I don't know. Please don't do that before I do.
You need to take another Ambien tonight.
Yeah, baby. I am meeting with my doctor tomorrow, so I'm gonna tell Tammy I need some more Ambien.
Okay, stay in school, kids. I just don't want to the youth, you know.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, my doctor gives it to me. It's like it's totally legal and everything. Because I told her, I'm like,
do you have trouble sleeping?
Yeah, of course.
They say that about.
I don't drink any caffeine.
Oh, really?
Never have I had a cup of coffee.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Never.
How does that work? I mean, how you what?
This is how I get up in the morning. I open my eyes. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
You're just like this.
Yeah.
100 miles an hour.
No, well, I mean, there's sometimes I'm a little bit more lazy, but there's most days I just wake up. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Let's start juggling.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's play catch.
That is amazing to me. Well, they do say creative people in general have trouble sleeping. And I know for myself, I'll lie down at night and my mind starts going.
Oh,
and sometimes in a good way, like very creative thoughts, but you can't slow the head down.
Do you keep a notepad by your bed?
I do, or my phone where I'll do some quick notes.
Helps.
And then sometimes you wake up and you have something really genius, and other times you wake up and you go, that was not funny at all.
Right, that happens a lot.
But
But I wrote a whole show once, a 2-person show with my friend Ben that we're touring right now. I wrote that because I couldn't sleep.
Okay.
And at 4 in the morning one day, I wrote the whole show. And
Are you serious?
And it was great. We didn't change a word. It was great.
You just sat down on an entire show.
Yeah, now we're touring theaters with it.
Is that right?
It's true.
That's impressive. And then sometimes it does come to you that way, right?
It really does.
It hits you, and okay, good to know. Thank you, Jack. Sorry. You can't pay for this kind of assistance in the studio,
you wrote a
right?
note that says you are 20
we are
into
20
it.
into it. That means 20 minutes into the interview.
I think it's going good.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe
he wants to see some juggling. I think that's what he's getting at.
I would love to show you some
Well,
juggling.
I'm not done with the interview.
Oh, okay. Eventually.
But we have one more question I want to ask you about, which I found very impressive. I have known you for a while. I did not know that you are an Andy Kaufman Award winner.
Yeah, I won the Andy Kaufman Award in 2012. The Andy Kaufman Award is an award, or was an award, that was given out every year
Does it not exist anymore?
Well, so the Michael Kaufman, who was Andy's brother, who was in charge of this award, he moved from New York to Louisiana.
Okay.
And so he just put it on hold for a little bit.
Okay.
They're still doing it, but they stopped like 3 years after I won it. So he could just like get stuff, and other stuff is going on right now. Andy Kaufman's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I gotcha.
So there's other stuff going on with Andy Kaufman that they're focusing on, because the award it was a big thing. It took up a bunch of his time.
Okay.
But it's great. I was a huge fan of Andy Kaufman growing up.
And just for anyone who may not know, just a very avant-garde sort of creative
Ahead
comedian.
of his time. Yeah, he was always ahead of his time and one step ahead of everybody else. He
Right.
loved sometimes playing the bad guy.
And Man on the Move is a famous movie with Jim Carrey where he
Right,
depicts
right.
it. So, yeah. I didn't mean to bore you there, sorry.
No, it's great. I'm not bored. I love that movie. The movie's great. But also that documentary on Netflix about Jim and Andy is a good documentary about it. But yeah, Andy Kaufman was great. So winning that award, what it did was it kind of validated what I was doing.
Yes.
And it kind of said, I got a little bit more respect with my peers about what, it just kind of said, okay, you're on the right path. Keep going.
Right.
Is what I took from that. And there's a lot of people who have won it and have done great things. Kristen Shaw has won it, Reggie Watts, Nick Vatterott, Harrison Greenbaum. So a lot of my good friends that have won the award.
Absolutely,
which is really nice. Brett Davis, Drew Johnson.
Well, and I think that's so interesting. It comes back to the whole, industry saying, stop the juggling. I mean, it's all we ever hear is do something new and different, be different. And especially as a white male comedian, I mean, I go to a club and it's a dime a dozen. Hey, what's the deal with women? Relationships are hard. Good night.
What is the deal with women? Has anyone answered that? No.
Well, if we answer that, I won't have a job.
Right. Yeah, I think it's really tough. I don't want to sit here and just be like, it's tough being me. But
please don't do that. Because that's hard to watch.
I love what I do. I love the battles I face. It's fun.
Ooh, battles? You have battles?
The battles I face with trying to make money and trying to pay rent and it's not a battle. It's more of do I need to buy this?
We don't usually hug on this show, but I feel like you may need just a light embrace.
Do it? I'm not. I'm okay.
But instead, what we're going to do is learn to juggle.
I'd rather have a hug.